Okay. Alright guys, so I am back home now, done with all my errands, got all the presents and, not presents, sorry, decorations and whatnot, so I'll be setting that up later when they go to bed. But I did say I was going to talk about, yeah, just my year, what's been going on, an update with my life, and kind of like the reasons why I decided to take a step back from social media and just focus on myself and my journey. So I guess we can start from January, or maybe like September. So obviously, like, I just graduated university, so September last year I was about to start my senior year, and I definitely was very confused about my next steps, what I wanted to do. I had just made the decision that I didn't want to apply for med school last year, and that wasn't like a forever type of thing. It was just like in that season of my life I knew I was not ready, especially after writing my MCAT. Like, things did not go the way I wanted. I didn't feel that kind of enthusiasm and zeal that I used to feel about like being a doctor in med school and the application process. So I guess that was the perfect sign that like this is not where I needed to be at that moment in my life, and I just needed to take a step back, reevaluate, and really decide if that was the career path for me. So yeah, I decided not to apply to med school, and I told myself, you know what, I don't want to do a master's, especially if it's something that I don't see a future in or I'm not passionate about. Like, I don't see the point of just going to school just for the sake of going to school and getting a degree. That's a lot of money, a lot of time. I want to be able to invest my time in something that will be purposeful for myself. So I told myself it was just going to be a job, and that would be it. Now fast forward to January, I just come back from Christmas vacation and everything, and one thing led to another, and I decided to actually apply for grad school. So I applied for a master's here in Calgary. It was a master's of public policy, so it would have a lot to do with my undergraduate degree in environmental science and like building off of that, but putting me in a position where I could take my career to an international level and deal with international organizations like the United Nations, which is something I knew that I had started growing a huge passion for during my senior year, and like being able to work with them in different ways, even if it couldn't be with health like I had originally planned. Environmental science is still something that I'm good at and I know I could do good work with. So yeah, I sent in my application, and I was actually really confident after I wrote my application and sent it in. I felt like I had a very good chance of getting in and all of that. But yeah, so I sent it in, and for my backup plan I was still applying to jobs, and my focus for job hunting was jobs out of country. I knew that if school didn't pan out, I really wanted to challenge myself to do something different with my life and pursue opportunities outside of Canada, really get out of my comfort zone and experience life. Like, you go to school, especially like when you're doing the med school process, you're kind of like focused on that one thing for so many years, and I feel like for me it was at least a good, I want to say like 6-7 years of just like med school, gotta have amazing grades, gotta do this, gotta do that, gotta do this, gotta do that. So I just wanted an opportunity to live life a bit and explore and just relax. That was the main thing for me. I felt like I was at burnout. Like, I was burning out, and I just needed to take a step back, relax, and just enjoy myself, enjoy my 20s. So yeah, those were the two main plans I had, finishing off my senior year and trying to get those things done. Then COVID happened, and obviously the thought of traveling, especially like out of country, was just not, it wasn't possible for me anymore. Even if it was an opportunity that was still open, I wasn't eager to do it, just because of like everything that's happening with COVID, the uncertainty and all of that. Like, I knew I was better off financially and just for my peace of mind staying in Canada and staying in Calgary. So I moved back home. And I think COVID really made me want my master's degree even more. Like, I really wanted to get into that master's program, but it just so happened that I got rejected. And I took, not gonna lie, the first like week or two of getting that rejection letter, I took it pretty hard just because I felt like I wasn't given a fair enough opportunity, in my opinion. And I mean, like, it could be something completely different. The school probably has their reasons for why they rejected me, but from my point of view, I just felt like they didn't have all my necessary documents to make a decision. They didn't have my grades, so it just confused me on what did they look at to make the decision that I wasn't eligible enough. But that's beside the point. So I got this rejection letter probably around, I think, ending of April, beginning of May. And yeah, so I took 2 weeks of just moping around and feeling like sad and like not really knowing what next for myself. And then one day, out of the blue, I decided to apply to med school in the Caribbean. So yeah, I sent in applications to several med schools in the Caribbean, and I got accepted to one. And you know, like, again, like I said, I've wanted to go to med school for pretty much my entire life since I was a little kid. So I had always expected, like, when I imagined what that phone call or like that moment where you're reading your acceptance letter would feel like, I had imagined, like, you know, tears, because after all those years of putting effort into this dream, like, I would be excited, maybe cry and all of that. And I vividly remember the day where I got the call from the school, and the lady who had been handling my application told me, like, you know, congratulations, you just got accepted, we're so happy to have you come to our school and all of that. And I just felt like empty. Like, I wasn't entirely sad, but I wasn't like jumping for joy, like, oh my goodness, this is exactly what I've wanted my entire life, I can't believe this is happening, which it was such a weird feeling for me. I expected a whole lot more. But yeah, regardless of all of that, I still ended up accepting the offer. I paid my deposit to save my spot, and I had already started getting myself into the mindset that, hey, you're heading to the Caribbean, you're heading back to school, you're going to be a doctor, you know, all the hard work is done for this phase and you're moving on to the next journey of your life. And things for me, like, although it was still a little like sketch here and there, I feel like I started letting myself kind of calm down into this new reality and, like, you know, prepping myself for this new journey essentially. So when things started unraveling with this med school and me finding out information about the school and like how current students there and past students felt about their experience, how the school treated them, the education, all of that, when all this new information started coming my way, it was quite overwhelming because this is such a huge decision to make. Like, financially, it's a huge commitment. Just your time and energy, it's a huge commitment. And med school is one of those things that it's not like your undergrad, or it's not like your undergrad where you can kind of, like, you know, choose a whole bunch of different, like, go from one school to the next, transfer in and out. Like, it's almost like when you make a decision, you stick to it or you don't. Like, you're either in or out. You can't have one foot in, one foot out. So weighing out all these options I had and the new piece of information that was coming in and how it would affect not just my next 4 years but my career in total if I were to go to this school, and being able to certify as a doctor, the opportunities I would have, it didn't look that sweet. It seemed more of a risk than a reward. So, and like, the school just overall didn't seem to align with my goals. It didn't align with a lot of the criteria I needed from an institution. And I made the ultimate decision to walk away from that offer. So I let them know that I was no longer interested in going to their school and I would be rejecting the offer, and that's exactly what I did. So at first, you know, I was very much like, I feel like it came in waves and cycles. So my first thought was, have I made literally the biggest mistake of my life? Like, you've wanted to go to med school, you finally tried, even with all the self-doubt you had, you got in, and then you rejected it. But then at the same time, I'm like, well, this entire year you've been praying that God's will be done in your life, and things are happening out of your control, but they're happening for a reason. So you just gotta trust in God, trust in the process, and keep going. So, you know, I went from, this is the worst mistake I possibly could have made, to, it's fine, like, God's got me, this was all for a reason, let's keep going, to, oh my goodness, everything I've wanted to accomplish this year is not happening. We're heading to December already. I feel like I haven't made positive steps in my life. I've kind of been stagnant. I haven't gotten a job. I'm just kind of here, like, you know, I'm more closed off than I have been in my entire life. I feel like I talk to people less. I don't leave my house, like, and it's like, the funny thing is, I feel like it's not it's not just because of, like, COVID. Yes, COVID plays a huge factor into it, and I think also moving back, I didn't expect to struggle with adjusting to living home again the way I have. But that's one of the reasons, or that is the reason why I decided to just take a step back from social media and YouTube. Like, I know the last video I made, I said I was going to be super consistent and really wanted to take things to the next step, but it's kind of hard to come in front of a camera and talk about your life and be creative and create content when you don't feel good within yourself. Yeah, so that, in addition with just feeling like I'm behind in my life, and just feeling very isolated. Like, I don't know, COVID has not been the ideal situation for me. I feel like all the plans I had, all the positive thoughts I had about what coming back to Calgary would be like for me and the things I could do have been put on hold. And it's just hard for me to accept this new reality, or even to push past it and make the best of things in a positive or like healthy way. Like, it's been hard for me to, yeah, it's basically just been hard for me to function. A lot of days, like, if I'm not running through applications or studying for a test or whatnot, then I'm just kind of chilling at home and like thinking a lot. And that, like, when you're left alone with your mind, it can be an asset sometimes, but in this case I feel like it's just really been one of my worst nightmares. Like, my mind is something else right now. So yeah, I've just really been taking time to deal with all of that and get into a more healthier and positive mindset, and really trying to push myself out of this funk I've been in and explore different things in the city, different opportunities, just ways to get myself out of the house, out of my cloud of doubt and whatnot, and just really trying my best to trust that everything will work out the way it's supposed to. And hopefully by this time next year, by God's grace, I will be in med school, and, you know, just more stable. But yeah, now that, like, I'm in a lot better of a place, I want to come back on YouTube. I want to be more creative and just explore YouTube more. Like, I have the time to do it, so there really isn't much of an excuse anymore. So yeah, that's my plan moving forward. I'm back, and let's get some videos out. So yeah, that's kind of basically where I'm at now and how my year has been going. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say. So yeah, if you guys have any like videos you want to see from me or ideas or whatnot, definitely let me know. I'm always open to new ideas and suggestions. If not, I'm gonna do what I think I'm gonna do, which we'll find out sooner or later. But yeah, that's more or less what I have to say. I hope you guys are all having a lovely year regardless of what's going on. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I love you all. Have a blessed time, and I will see you in my next video.